Welcome to this free course where I'm going to be sharing with you how to build, launch, and grow your online community in the next 30 days. Now, maybe you have been thinking about creating a community and you're just feeling really overwhelmed, or maybe you know a community is a really great way for you to not only grow your audience, but also to be able to sell and scale in your business. But you're not sure exactly where to start. Well, you're definitely in the right place, because in this step-by-step series, I'm going to be walking you through how you can get your online community up and going in 30 days or less. I'm going to walk you through the no fluff, the no overwhelm way to where you can be able to use these strategies and execute them and actually building out your community. Now, I'll also be sharing with you a platform that I love to use, which is called Kajabi. Kajabi will help you to be able to get your platform set up in one place and be able to get your checkout and so much more. Now, you can use your preferred platform, but just know that within this series, I will be sharing this platform and also some other different tools and resources that can help you to get up and going faster than ever. So if you're ready to dive in, I am too. I can't wait to help you to create your community. Let's go ahead and get started. If you're ready to build your thriving community and you're trying to figure out what platform to use, I want you to check out one of my favorite platforms, which is Kajabi. You can build your community, host memberships, online courses, coaching programs, email marketing, your website, your funnels, and so much more. So if you are interested in checking it out, I have a 30-day trial where you can see if it's a good fit for you. And also you can get some exclusive bonuses that I have for you that will help making launching so much easier and faster. So you can check that out in the link below. Hey there, Brittany Darrington here, and welcome to the Template Society channel, where we help coaches and creators to build an online business, saving time and saving their sanity by using templates. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about why you should be creating a community if you're an online coach or a creator. And we're going to walk through how this can help you in your business to be able to grow, to be able to sell, and ultimately scale with a community. Now, before we dive into this video series, I definitely want you to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a thing and you can get notified of some of our upcoming videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know if you are looking to build a community below and what type of community you're looking to create. In this first part of our video series, where we're talking all about how you can build a thriving online community, I want to first go over why coaches and creators need a community. What's the point of having one, right? There are so many different types of products that you can have out there, and you can have memberships, coaching programs, online courses, just selling digital products like templates or other resources that your audience might need. Why do you need a community? Community will help you to get clients, to sell more, and also create freedom in your business so that you can make an educated decision to see if creating a community is even right for you. Okay, let's get started with the first reason on why you should have a community. So building a community allows you to build trust with your clients really fast. You are able to show up for your clients in a way that you can't necessarily show up when you're doing just free content. So maybe you're showing up on social media platforms, you're providing a ton of content, but you're not really growing the way that you want, or you're not seeing that content turn into actual sales. Well, by having a community paired with you sharing content, this is going to help you to be able to connect with your audience more. You don't have to worry about things like algorithms and wondering if people even saw what you posted, or having to post so much content where you just feel overwhelmed and burnt out. Instead, you can have your audience from your free content go to your community and start learning from you in a more advanced way. They can be able to get more access to you, see your content more often, and so much more, which allows them to build trust, to learn more about you. And then whenever you're looking to make sales for other products in your business, you can share it with this community and allow them to get first dibs. Now, speaking of social media and creating all that free content, sometimes the algorithm is not on our side, right? We post all this content, we get super excited to share what it is that we are teaching about and sharing with the world, but then we don't get the eyeballs that we want on it, and it's becoming frustrating. So maybe you've just created this amazing video, or you created a blog post, or you just want to share something that you know is full of value, and you share it on social media and it doesn't get that look and like and stuff that it needs in order for people to be able to see what it is that you are sharing. Well, having a community allows you to just skip over that whole algorithm thing. If you have people in your community that are ready to learn from you, that are excited to see what it is that you are sharing and the value and the wisdom that you are providing, it allows them to be able to see it, to connect with it, and you don't have to worry about, did they see it? Did it show up on their feed? Did it pop up within the algorithm for them? Instead, you can tag them. You can make sure that they saw it. You can repost things, and you can really follow up with people because you have more control when it comes to your community. Okay, so let's get to the third reason why you need a community. Having a community will allow you to be able to generate recurring income if it is a paid community. Whether you are charging weekly, monthly, or quarterly, this allows you to be able to generate revenue while providing value, showing up for your audience, and so much more. Now, a lot of people get stuck with building their email list and they're feeling overwhelmed because they just don't know how to get their ideal customers to buy some of their products. Well, a community is a really great way for you to have it at more of an entry level and have people come in, get a taste of what you're all about and so much more, and then introduce them to other products along the way. Now, there are some people who sell really premium communities, and that's totally fine. But if you are in the entry level and you're trying to figure out how to just get started with your community and figure out what works best for you, you might start off at a lower tier price for a weekly, monthly, or again, quarterly payment. And this allows you to be generating revenue while sharing value. So I definitely love that because now you can start creating some revenue in your business and ultimately be able to start selling and eventually scaling when introducing other products or just growing your audience within your community. Now, the fourth reason why you need a community is because it allows you to serve more clients at once. So you're not having to do one-to-ones. You're not having to answer a question for a one-off. Instead, you can interact with your audience as a whole. And one thing I have found out over the years is that if you have an active community, sometimes the individuals in your community will answer questions for you or share their wisdom and their advice, which helps your audience to get the results that they are looking for. So in this place, you can show up, whether it's through videos or through posting or having challenges and so much more. You can show up and share with so many people around the world versus you having to work with people one-to-one and really encourage them to be active with each other so that they can be able to assist each other along the way within this community. Now, the fifth reason why you should have a community as a coach or a creator is because it allows you to add an asset to your memberships, your online courses, your coaching programs, or some of your other digital products. So maybe someone is purchasing a coaching program or a course or a membership, and they want to be able to ask a ton of questions. And instead of having your questions as a one-off and they have to email you, they can go and jump into this community. And as I've mentioned before, a lot of people who are active in the community might jump in to help really encourage individuals or answer questions and network and so much more. So I look at having a community not only as just a one-off, but a way that you can also add an asset to some of your other products to really encourage individuals to not just get this result, but to keep going further. And it's also allowing you to really up the value of what it is that you're offering in some of your other products. Okay, so those are the 5 reasons why you absolutely need a community as a coach or creator. This can help you to get clients, to be able to sell in your business, and eventually scale in so many different ways. In this part of the series, I'm going to be walking you behind the scenes on how you can build your online community, and I'm going to take you into Kajabi, and we're going to build out a community from scratch. We're going to set up our portal and our platform. We're going to get checkout going. We're going to get all of this fully set up so that you can be able able to duplicate what it is I am doing. Now, please note that you don't have to use Kajabi, but if you are interested in checking out that platform, I have that 30-day trial for you to see if it's a good fit. And also you can use those exclusive bonuses that I have that can help make launching even faster. So let's go ahead and jump behind the scenes on how you can build out a full-on community within Kajabi with ease. Let's do this. Okay, so we're on the back end of Kajabi, and this will give you an opportunity to see how to set up a platform in Kajabi, or just see if it's a good fit for you and see some of the features that Kajabi has to offer. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get started with going to where it says community. You can either select all products or community. I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to go ahead and then select get started. When I click on get started, I am then going to create my community details. This is my overall community name. So I might have multiple communities. I might have, several different types of communities within my overall community. So I want you to think of a name that is going to be general to all of your communities. It could be, for example, the Template Society community. And then I have different communities underneath that parent community. So I just want you to think of a general title that you're going to call your overall community. And then you might have sub communities that fall within this particular overall community. So let's go ahead and think of a name. Again, I think the Template Society community makes the most sense. So I'm going to call this the Template. Okay. Now I can put a description of what this community is all about. Like, we help coaches and creators to build their online business using templates. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Okay, so I have plugged in copy on we help our online coaches and creators build their online courses or online businesses using templates. I'm now going to go ahead and hit that continue button. When I click on continue, then I'll need to upload a cover image for my overall community. This is going to fall into this area of the community. You don't have to have this right now. If you don't have it, you can just go ahead and hit continue and come back to it later. So let's go ahead and hit continue. And then now we are going to create our community name for our specific community. So we have our general community name, which is the Template Society community. But now this community that we're creating might be called the YouTube community. So let's go ahead and name that. Okay, so now I have created a name, the YouTube community. I'm going to hit continue. And now I need to identify if this is going to be a paid community or a free community. So if it's going to be paid, there are some options that you can choose from. You can have this be a one-time payment or a subscription or a payment plan. Now, most people, whenever they are setting up a community, they usually go with a subscription if it is a paid option where they charge either a weekly, a monthly, or a quarterly fee. Now, you don't have to start off by having a paid community. You can start off where it's free and then change that later. It's all up to you, but ultimately decide which one is going to be the best fit. Now, please note that in this series, I'm going to be talking a lot more about free versus paid, so you can have a better educated decision on what's going to be the right fit for you. But for right now, if you do know you want a paid community, you can go ahead and select that. And if you don't want a paid community and you want to start with the free option, you can do that too. And if you just don't know either way, you can hit this skip now and go from there and come back to it. So what I'm going to also do is show you, if you decide to go with the paid community, let's just say it's going to be a subscription. What you'll do is you'll put the price in. So let's just say it's going to be $19 a month. We're going to bill once, and now we're going to put in when we're billing, and it's going to be once a month. You can have the option of doing different intervals or weeks or months or year. So I'm going to go ahead and go with month, and then I would select my payment provider. Kajabi has a couple of options. You can do Kajabi's payments, which accepts all payments, and it also allows a few other options. Or you can do things like Stripe or PayPal to connect to your Kajabi account and use that. Okay, so I'm going to go with the free option for right now, just because I want to show you, and we're going to go ahead and hit save and finish. So we have created our parent community, the Template Society, and we have created our specific community that we are creating today, which is that YouTube community. Okay, so now we're in the back end of Kajabi. You can see, I'm going to give you a tour on what's taking place so you kind of know what's going on in here. Okay, so this particular area is, again, going to be kind of your brand for your community, that even if you have multiple communities, it's kind of like the overall brand. Then we have your name and your picture icon. If you have your icon already set up in Kajabi, it will show there, or you can always edit this. And then we have that quick description that we just created, where I have, we help online coaches and creators build their online business using templates. This can say something completely different, and you can definitely edit that. Now, let's go ahead and walk through what else Kajabi has for your community. They have things like your home page, which is what you're seeing here. So anything in the home page section will show here. They also have things like challenges, where you can host challenges and invite people to participate in an upcoming challenge. Now, the really great part about a challenge, I have a couple of clients who just recently started using their challenge more often, and they were really shocked to see how many people participate. It really encourages people to be active in your community and give them something to work towards. So I have a client who works with men who are over 40 to help them to get in shape and stay in shape without all the other fluff out there. And he started a challenge where he runs 3 miles on the weekend, and he encourages his audience to do the same. And they are all very interactive in this particular challenge, and they get really excited about the upcoming weekend to share and post about their upcoming run. Okay, so now let's go to meetups. Meetups is where you are going to maybe host a live event with your audience. It could be via Zoom, or Kajabi allows you to host your videos in the particular platform, where you don't have to use platforms like Zoom if you don't want to. So you can come and host a live session. It could be a Q&A. It could just be a training, whatever it may be. This is where you're going to provide a calendar invite to invite your audience to be able to show up for that event that you have coming up. Then we have something called the leadership board. The leaderboard is where you are going to have your audience, as they interact with your customers and just interact with the overall community, you're going to start to see them have points, and you can see who's really interacting in this particular community. So you can see the weekly interactions, the monthly, and all time. And then you might schedule posts, because our goal is not to be burnt out from having a community. Our goal is to really serve our audience, give very, top-notch value, and not be burnt out along the way. And so you might provide, scheduled posts for the week, and you will see that all right here. Okay, so you remember how we made that YouTube community, the main community that we're looking to create for today? That community is going to be right here. So it's going to say YouTube community. Now, if we had other communities, you would also see them fall below here. Currently, right now, Kajabi gives you the meetup section and a Q&A. So ultimately, you can add more to this section, but our main focus is to be able to know what this all is. Okay, so now that we have an idea of our YouTube community, let's go ahead and jump down. Here's what's in this area: meetups right now, and we also have Q&A. Now, we might want to add some other sections to this particular community. We might want to add resources, a feed, all that great stuff. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is we're going to go to the 3 dots right here. So when I click on 3 dots, we're going to go to create a new, and we're going to scroll down to where it says feed. So I'm going to create a new feed. Or I can create an event, or I can create a challenge, or have an announcement, or have a chat. You get to decide. So currently right now, Kajabi already has a feed in place, but they just named it Q&A. I'm going to change that. Instead of it saying Q&A, we are going to call this particular area, we're going to call this resources. I'm going to hit save, and now we have resources. If I wanted to add more different feeds and different sections to my community, I can go back to feed, and I can call this particular area. Let's go ahead and add a new channel right here. Let's click new. We're going to call this, instead of calling it a feed or just a resource, we're going to call this Q&A recap. Now, you can put a description on what this recap is about. You can also select who is going to be able to access this particular community. So you can select which community, if you have multiple showing, which one's going to get access to this particular feed and information. And then also you can select what type is this. Is this going to be a feed or a chat? I usually like to do feed, but you can do the chat, which kind of looks like a Facebook chat and things like that. And then you can hit private, or you can keep it public to your overall group. I'm going to keep that public to my overall group. And now I'm going to hit create. This needs a description, so we're going to just put recap of meetup. I'm going to hit create. And now when I go back to my main page, here we are, you will see that there is a Q&A meetup recap and there's resources. So you can add as many sections as you believe you need for your community to help you to be able to really interact and really keep everything organized for your audience. Okay, so now that we have that, a few things I want to point out before we really just dive into designing and all that good stuff. I want to talk about editing your page. Let's go ahead and click on, this is going to be more on our right-hand side. So let's click on edit page. When I click edit page, I can create a welcome, image or something along those lines, add a title, all that good stuff, and hit save. And then all of our meetups that we have are going to show and appear on our right-hand side. And then also any challenges that we have will also appear on our right-hand side. And you'll also be able to see the members associated. Now let's go ahead and go to the settings area. So let's go ahead and click on where it says the Template Society team. I'm going to click on account settings. So let's go ahead and click on that. When I go to account settings, this will allow me to change my icon photo if I wanted to. I can also edit my name. So if I did not want it to say the Template Society team, and then I can also add in some social links, interests, and things about who I am as the admin. Now, one thing I also want to go to is this 3 dots right here, where if you want to edit the settings of your community, we're going to go to where it says settings. And then when we edit our settings, this will allow us to do a few things. We can change our URL name. So maybe we don't want this number at the bottom, at the back of this URL. So the Template Society community, it's already taken because I have it somewhere else. So I'm just going to put test. There we go. And then we can also add our social media links right here. And then if you have community guidelines, like, hey, there's no profanity in this group, or you need to be nice to others, no bullying, or no promotions, all that good stuff, you want to go ahead and add those guidelines in. This will help your community to be able to say, yes, I accept these community guidelines before entering. And then if you notice anyone is abusing it, you can remove them from your community. And here are some advanced options. So let's click advanced. You can also have member alias. So if you don't want them to be called members, maybe you want them to be called warriors or something like that, you can change that accordingly. But our main goal is to make sure that you have this to your liking. So moderators, all of that, that's all in the language of what you like. Now let's go to where it says email notifications. So for example, whenever you are sending out or posting a feed or sending out a meetup invite or things along those lines, you can decide how many emails you want to go out to your audience. This gives you the option to toggle on and toggle off what you think would make sense. If you don't want too many notifications, toggle off the things that you don't think make sense. And then you can toggle on the things that, or keep them toggled on if you want to be notified of those upcoming events, meetups, all that good stuff. Same thing with email customization. You can change your email and your branding and all your information. So come and check that out and update that. Now let's go ahead and go to where we can talk all about that leadership board, as I mentioned earlier, where you can get points for interacting and participating within the community. So here is where you're going to really incentivize people to interact, and you're going to reward them for doing that. So you can add in some different rewards. So for example, if someone were to get 100 points for interacting in my community, I might have a one-to-one session with them to help them to be able to get their funnels or their website up and going in no time. You can set whatever your reward is and the conditions associated with it, but let's just go ahead and create one-to-one with Brittany. Okay, so I just added one-to-one with Brittany, funnel coaching. I can now add conditions. So I can say that you must have a certain amount of points or purchase a course or participate in a challenge or comment and reply. I can decide what would make sense. I'm going to go with the points, and I'm now going to select 100 points and hit continue. So anyone who gets 100 points, they will be able to do a one-to-one funnel coaching with me. I will need to put some sort of image or badge there, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put one-to-one. Now you might have multiple rewards based off of what they how interactive they are and what it is you're looking to give a reward for. But for right now, I'm just going to give one reward. So anytime someone generates 100 points, it's going to notify them, letting them know that they get a one-to-one with me, and I can provide more information about how that one-to-one is going to work and how they can access it. Okay, so now that we have that out the way, let's go ahead and go to customization. So you can select a home page for your community. Maybe you want them to go to the home page, a challenge page, or a meetup page. You get to decide. But usually I like to just keep it on the home page. So you can change that at any time. Then we have our branding. You can update your branding accordingly. You can use custom colors, presets, all that great stuff in order to make this more on brand. And then you can use light or dark mode, whichever one you prefer. And if you're looking to do the chat style, you will see this is kind of what it looks like versus the feed. Okay, so now let's go to challenges. So if you want to host a challenge, all you have to do is go to either new series or new challenge. If we go to new series, let's go ahead and start by clicking new series. Then what you can do is list out the series of things that people are going to do to complete. So for example, you might be in this community series, and I'm walking you through how to get set up with creating your online community and so much more. I would plug in how that works, and we would start challenges to help you to get to launching your community. Now, if I did not want to do a series and I just wanted to do more of a one-off challenge, I can just go to new challenge and hit new. This is going to be a one-time challenge, or I can do a recurring challenge that happens every so often. And then I'll hit next. Once I hit next, here are some options that Kajabi gives you. So let's just say I wanted to do let's just do a productivity tip. So let's go ahead and click on that. It's a one-time challenge. And then I can invite people to participate in this challenge. I can share more about what the challenge is. So as I mentioned before, I had a client who wanted to just really encourage people to run, and his whole entire challenge was running on the weekends at least 3 miles. And so he put descriptions about what that looks like, don't have to do it in a certain amount of time. And then it was in the group. And when you hit next, he has a picture, all that good stuff. And then what people can do, let's hit save. Okay, so now that we have a challenge, we can see what that looks like. If we wanted to, we can go right here to this particular view challenge. When I click on that, this is what it's going to look like. Here's the challenge. I can go to where it says join. And then once someone participates in that challenge, they can share their thoughts, they can provide attachments and all of that great stuff. Okay, so now let's go back to settings. There's just a few more things. Now let's talk about meetups. If you want to host a meetup, you can go ahead and go to where it says create a new meetup. Then you can plug in your upcoming event information. So let's just say, okay, so this says community series meetup. And now I'm going to go to location. I can put in a link. It could be from Zoom. It can be from any other place I would like to host my event, or I can use Kajabi. I can use their live session, or I can use for example, other platforms again that I want to use. I can select the time and when it ends, and also what time zone it's going to be in. And then is this going to be a repeat and a description? So let's go ahead and plug this information in. I'm going to go ahead and start with use live. We're going to create, we're going to use this live. And what's going to take place is when this event takes place, Kajabi is already going to create a link because I'm going to host the live event in Kajabi, and it's going to have the link associated with it. So I'm going to leave that there. This event's going to take place today at 11, and it's not going to repeat, and I just need to put a description in. Now I'm going to go to what group gets access to this particular meetup, which is going to be the YouTube community, and then select a channel to receive in-app updates. This can be in the recap area, or it can go to resources, whatever. I'm going to put mine in the recap. Okay, so now we have our preferred meetup. Let's go ahead and hit save. And now you will see that here. Let's hit preview. And here is the meetup. If someone wanted to go to it, all they would have to do is click the live button and hit continue, and they'll be able to access that live room within Kajabi or your preferred location. Okay, so now going back to settings, there's just a few more things to cover, which is your channel. Now we have basically our channels, which are our sections within our community. I want you to look at it like that. So we have our YouTube community, and then we have sections to help people to be able to go to the right feed and participate in the right areas. We have a meetup area and a resource area so far within this YouTube community. So then people can go and interact in the right places. And then we have announcements. So if you want to send out an announcement to all of your audience, you can create an announcement by going to new announcement. When you click on that, you can just say, hey, and hey, and now you can pin this comment. This can be a channel announcement, all that great stuff where it's only in a specific area of your community, and then hit save. Here it is right here. So my announcement is now showing on the right-hand side. It says, hey, even though I didn't put much to it, but you can see that it appears here. Now you can add more about this particular area, which I'm going to walk through shortly. Okay, so a few other things to consider when you are setting up your community in Kajabi. You can see an announcement just popped up right there. So it just popped up so we can be able to see that there. I'm going to exit out. A few things that you want to think about is making your overall sections with more detail. So this is the Q&A meetup. I can edit this to where it says something else. It doesn't have to say Q&A meetup. I can also add in it by hitting edit page. If I go to edit page, I can add in a image to dress this up even more, where it might say Q&A meetup recap in my brand. And so it has like an image, and it's really more on brand when you come to this section and you know exactly where you're at. So feel free to really jazz this up to your brand and really customize this. So when you want to post in your community in those different sections, all you have to do is go to write post, and then you can type out your post. And you can also add in a few things. So let's identify what Kajabi allows you to add in your post. You can have an image. You can have an image. You can add documents. You can upload a recording. You can do an embedded video. You can also do a poll. And then once you have what you like, you can be able to type out, and you have some options in terms of your formatting for your text. And then you can hit post. Now, when you are looking to talk to everyone, you can hit at everyone, or you can notify a specific customer or client within your community by selecting at and then selecting their name. And then once you do that, you would then hit, let's just go ahead and post me and hit post. And now this will notify the person you just posted, or if you hit everyone, it will notify everyone in your community. Now that we have this, let's go ahead and take a peek at some things that you can post in your community to help really jazz this up. So the first thing is, let's go ahead and start with a welcome image. I like to have some sort of welcome image just so people know they're in the right place and it's just on brand. So I'm going to grab this particular image that I have. This is going to allow me to be able to, again, just kind of make my community more on brand and not so bland. So I'm going to start off by going back to my community, and I'm going to go to home, and I'm going to add a cover here. So when I hit add cover, I'm going to choose my preferred, hit save. And now when you come to my page, it's going to have this welcome. So this will be kind of the welcome page that is more exciting and has more to it. Now, if I wanted to add a landing page, I can do create, and let's just say a custom page. I can have a custom page here versus it going to this particular page. So I'm just going to go to custom page. I am going to grab a page. All right, so I am just plugging in this demo site. I'm going to hit save. And now what's going to take place is when people go to the welcome page, it's going to go to my demo site page. So this is just kind of like the library page that I have going on, but it would go to whatever page you just necessarily put in. So I don't have to keep that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that for right now. Let's hit delete, but just giving you an idea of what you can have people go to. Okay, so now let's go back to home. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the different posts that you can post within the feed section. So I'm just going to take you over to a few images that I have. So let's just say you want to have some sort of welcome message. I mean, here are just a series of just images and stuff that you can use. I'm just going to make this to where you can see it. So I have a series of images that you can use. This is a really great way for you to be able to connect with your audience and be able to share things that will help and really just connect with them. Please note that you can learn more about how you can access this in the link below if you're interested in getting some already done for you templates. So let's go ahead and just look at some different ways and things that you can post in order to, again, help you to be able to quickly get your community up and going and have images that are so easy for you to share. So I'm just going to share an image. I'm going to go ahead and download hello. Let's go ahead and hit download. We're going to just get that first image. Let's hit that and hit done and hit download. Okay, so now I'm going to make my way back to the community. I am going to go to where it says resources. We're going to pretend like this is a resource I'm giving my audience right now. We're going to go ahead and hit the plus sign as if we're writing a new post. We're going to go ahead and type in welcome to the community. All right, now we're going to grab that image that we just downloaded from Canva. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And so now what's going to take place is my image is in here. It says, welcome to the community. We're going to put at everyone. This will notify everyone to maybe if you want them to interact and introduce themselves, all that great stuff you can, or introduce that resource that you have for them. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit post, and you are going to see this particular post show up in the community. So now all people have to do is come and interact, and they can feel inspired by hitting the like button. They can comment, they can interact, and so much more. So we just completed a full tutorial on how you can create your online community in Kajabi. You got a chance to see some of the templates that I have that you can definitely check out. It's a resource that can help make this process a heck of a lot easier. You can find that link below. Today, I want to take you behind the scenes of Kajabi so I can show you some of the amazing features that they have when it comes to their community. Okay, let's get started with community's best features and how you can use them and ultimately be able to really grow your community with them. So the first thing that you definitely want to have, no matter what, is having some sort of welcome section for your communities. So you can have a welcome, which is going to live at the very top of your overall website. It could be a welcome at the very top, or you can have a landing page that says, welcome to the community. Here's what to do next and all of that great stuff. Maybe it's a landing page that you have already created. And what you can do is you can link that here. So if I were to go to settings and I go to create, I can go to where it says right here, custom page. When I click on custom page, I can then add in my preferred welcome page, and it can welcome every single new client who comes into my community, a welcome, kind of giving them the guidelines and what to do next and making sure that they get the most out of this community. Now, if you choose not to have a welcome page, maybe on a landing page or whatnot, then some of the other things that you can do is you can have a section in your community. So we can always go to where it says create new, go to where it says feed. Let's go ahead and create a feed. And we can have a welcome section or a getting started section. I'm going to go to where it says new channel. Let's click on that. And we're going to go ahead and say, so I have welcome to the community. Here's what to do next. And this is going to be within that particular community that I just recently created. It's going to have my feed type public. I'm going to hit create. And now what's going to take place when I go back to the particular community, I have my getting started. In this getting started section, I can have a cover that says getting started, and I can also encourage people to start to interact. So I might say, so I might have like, welcome to the community. Here's what to do next. Step 1, introduce yourself. Step 2, tag a friend or tell us something amazing or interesting about you. Step 3, why have you joined this community? What are you looking to get out of it? Things like that. And then I can also add in an image that says maybe welcome. So I'm going to grab an image that I already have that says, hello, welcome, introduce yourself. But you can add an image and put whatever works best for you, or you can even make this a video and so much more. And then you can hit post, and you can pin this to the very top of this particular feed. So it's always at the top. So anytime someone comes in, they always see this. You can do that by going to where it says pin to getting started. I'm going to click on that. And then whenever I go to my particular section, I will always see this pinned post where people can start to interact and comment and whatnot. Okay. So another great feature that Kajabi has when it comes to their communities is their feeds. This is a way for you to really break down and organize your sections of your community. It used to be called channels, which was really confusing because a lot of people never call them channels, but now they're called feeds. You still might see channels throughout the the setup section. Kajabi is in the process of doing a lot of changes, so that might change. But what we can do to add different feeds, as you can see here, like we have the getting started feed, the Q&A feed, the resource feed, we can add as many feeds as we would like to our community. So all we would have to do is go to where it says the three dots right here, just go to the three dot image. We're going to go to create new. We're going to make our way to where it says feed. And then when we create our feed, we can create all of these, as you can see, channels, different things that say resources, Q&A, meetups, or submit your questions for Brittany, or whatever it may be. We can add in our different feeds and have sections for our audience. So all you would have to do is go to where it says new feed, just very similar to what we did for getting started. And ultimately, people can go to that particular section, that particular feed, and be able to communicate and comment and interact there. Now, another amazing feature that Kajabi has when it comes to the community is the challenges. So you are able to go to where it says challenges and you can participate in some upcoming challenges. You can create challenges for your audience. You can create as many challenges as you would like. And the really great thing is it can encourage people to interact and give them a reason to come and pop into this community and participate. So think of challenges that really help your audience, such as, let's just say you are running I'll use myself for an example. I help people with templates and I help them to grow their business fast. So I might have a ton of resources on building your business and using funnels and creating templates. And so I would do a challenge where turn this particular landing page template into your page and decorate this and update this to your liking and all that great stuff. So I want you to really think through how you can be able to provide your audience with challenges that are going to be related to your community that will encourage them to want to participate and really interact and be active. Now, the next feature that Kajabi has that is really great for your community is the live room meetups. So yes, you can host a meetup, but what a lot of people run into is that they might not be familiar with some of the other platforms like Zoom and Google Meets and all of that. And they don't necessarily want to have their customers going to other places. They want to keep them all in one place. Now, Kajabi allows you to host your actual live meetup in Kajabi. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to add meetup. We're going to create a new meetup and I'm going to call this test meetup. We're going to go to where it says use live. We are going to select Kajabi's use live. When I click on that, I can select what time this is going to go live. Right now, I'm going to just make this for a different time. Okay. And I can put my details. What community is this live event going to be taking place in? So I'm going to keep this as is. And where should I have updates and where should I notify my audience about this? I'm going to put them into the proper place so my feeds always stay clean and have organization to them. I'm going to place this into the Q&A meetup recap. And now I'm going to hit save. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go live. I'm going to go to my test group and I'm going to go ahead and click on go live. Let's click on this. And now I'm just going to go ahead and hop into the group by clicking on that live online. And I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And it's going to ask me for my permissions. I'm going to hit continue. I am going to, for me, it needs to ask. So I'm going to allow and continue. Now what's going to take place is it's going to ask me to do a run and pre-call test. It wants to test my camera, my mic, my speaker, my connection. I'm going to go ahead and hit run test. I can hit skip if I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and hit yes. Yes, I hear myself. Yes to all the stuff. Let's go ahead and make it happen. And now that I have this going and ready, I can now host live meetups in Kajabi. So the really great part is I can be able to keep everybody on this platform, not have to have them move, and really be able to host everything in one place. So I have just set this up. Everything looks good to go. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's turn my camera on. Here we are in 2 different places. Let's go ahead and hit join meeting. And now I can have up to 200 people in this particular community meetup. If you have more than 200 people, you clearly might have to leave Kajabi in terms of being able to host your live event. But if you have 200 or less, then you're good to go. You can host it here. This meeting can be recorded, so you can hit the record button by selecting recording. I'm going to go ahead and just exit out. You can do picture in picture if you would like. So start picture in picture. I'm going to take that off, but you can also see your connection. You can also go to settings and do some other stuff. So if you want to change your background out, all the good stuff, you were able to do so. You can change out your camera. Meeting timer, if you want to have a timer associated on how long this meeting is and you want people to be able to see this meeting ends at XYZ time, you can have a timer. You can also hide your toolbars. And then here's some other stuff below. The camera, again, you can change your background if you need to, video settings, your mic, if you needed to turn it on, turn it off, all that good stuff. And then you can also share your screen, and you can also record as we just looked at, and you can have reactions. You can have a chat that's going on so people can chat and interact in your community. You can also have breakout groups. So this is something that's really big on Zoom that I absolutely love, is breakout groups. So you can now have that on Kajabi, and then you can also leave this room once this meeting is over with. So there's tons of great stuff that you can do. A few things I do want to point out when you are writing something in the chat. Hello. So I can hit send, and people will be able to see that. I can also add in some emojis, all that good stuff, and interact with people as I am doing this particular live setup. If I want to see chat, or if I want to see exactly who's in the room with me, I can go to where it says people instead. And the really great part is, if you're recording this, once it's done recording, it will ask you if you want this to go into your meetup or recap or wherever you're hosting all of your replays. It will ask you if you wanted to go there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record just so I can quickly record for a few minutes and be able to show you what takes place after I have actually finished recording. So it's recording. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, stop recording. I'm done. Now I'm going to hit leave in meeting for all. Let's go. And we are going to end the meeting and remove everyone out the room. I'm going to go ahead and hit, or I can stay behind for another meeting if I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and hit end meeting. Okay, so we have left the meeting. We can download the chat if we wanted to see what people were saying, because sometimes it's really hard to see what is going on when you are talking and presenting and sharing and answering questions. Maybe you didn't answer everything and you want to go back and answer people's questions and all that good stuff. And so now that we have left, let's go ahead and go to where this meeting took place. Let's go ahead and hit OK. All right, so it notified my community, letting them know that I went live. So go ahead and join me now. It invited them to this particular live event and all of that great stuff. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to meetups. And since this time has not taken place, it's not going to allow me to see the recap yet. However, I already went live. And so once that time has passed, the time of when the event is supposed to end, you will see the recap appear in this area. It will have your upcoming meetings, and it will also have past recordings and all of that great stuff. So that's a really great feature. If you don't want to have to jump off the platform and go to other platforms, you can use that all within Kajabi. Okay, so another really cool feature in Kajabi that's really going to help you and your community is being able to access your leadership board. This is a great way for you to be able to see who's interacting in your community and get people involved. So you can see weekly, monthly, and all times, see who's interacting, see what they're doing, and see how you can get people to participate, whether it's in a challenge, signing up for a course, really participating in some of your posts and feeds and all of that. Okay, so let's talk about your memberships. You might want to know who's in your membership and you want to learn more about them. And maybe people in your actual audience wants to learn about the people in the community as well. So you can see all your different members by going to just where it says member, and you can see all the different members who are actually in your community. This is a great way for you to better understand who you're working with and so much more and all of that. And you will see them as role. It will say, instead of it saying founder or admin and things like that, it will say member, and you will see them all listed here. And you can also search for people. Maybe you want to send them a direct chat or message them directly, and you can do that there too. Now, another cool thing that you can do with your community is you can integrate different offers and other products that you are looking to share with your audience. So I would, if I were you, if you were wanting to invite your audience to check out maybe a new product that you created or something that's going to be a really great resource and can help them, I would put it in the chat or feed section and invite people to go and check that out by sharing the link, inviting them to go and see that landing page or that sales page or learn more about the offer. So this is a great way for you to use your feed section to encourage people to see some of the other products that you have and offer within your business. Now, another section I really want to highlight that is really important when it comes to communities is being able to see your dashboard and understand your analytics. So this is where you can see how many people are active in your community, whether it's 7 days, 30 days, 3 months. This is where you can see how many people have joined a challenge, how many meetups and RSVPs have you had, new members, messages sent. This is where you can really better understand more of your analytics within your business to see what you might need to improve on or where you're saying maybe people aren't really interacting so that you can make this the best community possible. Okay, there you have it. You got a chance to see some of Kajabi's amazing community benefits. So you can create meetups, you can create challenges, create feed posts, and so much more. If you're looking to build your community and you're not sure what platform to build this on, I highly recommend that you check out Kajabi. I have a 30-day trial for you that will allow you to jump on, see if this is a good platform, and see if it's a good fit. And also I have some exclusive bonuses that will help making launching so much faster. You can check that link out below. Okay, I will see you in the next video series where we're going to dive in deeper into how to build your online community. Struggling with content ideas and trying to figure out what to post in your community? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through some ideas on what you can post so that you're not burnt out and you always have content that you can share with your community. Let's go ahead and dive right in. When you have a community, you really want to keep your audience active. You want them to be engaged. You want them to be excited about the content that you're putting out, versus just posting and hoping that people actually interact with it. Our goal with a community is to provide value, to provide education, to welcome our audience, make them feel extremely welcome, to share about some promotions that we even have, and so much more. But our goal is not to just post content. Our goal is to be very strategic and specific with the type of content that we share. And over time, as you build your community, you're going to see the type of content that your audience really loves and engages with. And you might even notice some content that doesn't really resonate well with your audience so that you can do less of that. So let's go ahead and dive in with what type of content to actually post in your community so that you're not burnt out, but also keeping your audience active and full of value. Okay, so let's get started with the first types of posts that you can really share with your audience. It's engagement-driven content. We really want people to interact in your community and be communicative and connect with other individuals in the community and so much more. So one of the ways that you can do that is by having welcome posts. Really encourage your audience to introduce themselves when they first come into the community. We want them to feel like, hey, I know what to do, I know what to expect, and I know what to get and how to participate so I can get the most out of this community. And so you can start off by creating content that welcomes them into this community. It could be an image or a video that just gets them excited, gets them to introduce themselves and want to participate in what it is that you have to offer. We also want to have some things like discussion prompts, whether it's just text-based or you have some images to go along with it, or you even create a quick 1 to 5 minute video where you are just really provoking conversation in your audience. We want to encourage some discussion prompts so that people can start to interact. If we just say welcome and then post a whole bunch of random stuff and not say anything that really provokes them to want to provide discussion and interaction, well, it's going to be a really boring community. So I want you to think about discussion prompts that you can provide in your community that will allow people to say, you know what, let me type out my answer, let me share a video, let me share a response, because this is really exciting and I want to be a part of this conversation. Some other engagement content ideas consist of having polls and surveys. So polls and surveys are a really great way to get people who want to interact, but not necessarily want to type out everything. Maybe they're new, they're still shy to the community. And so I love to ask my audience, what are you looking to create next? Or how can I help you? Or where's an area of where you might be struggling? And give a poll where people have the opportunity to give their feedback without having to do too much work along the way. So I want you to think through, what type of poll can you host in your community, or what type of survey can you have? And some other engagement-driven content that you can use without having to overthink it is use some of the content that your audience is sharing within the community. You're going to find that if your audience is interactive in the community, that they might post questions or they might share some wisdom with other individuals that you feel like is something you should share with the whole audience as a whole. I just think through, what can I share from my overall group and how can I help my community to be able to learn from that information that a user might have posted. Now let's talk about educational and value-driven posts. This is a really great way for your audience to help them to get the result that they joined this community for. They not only wanted to connect with other like-minded individuals, but they also wanted to be able to grow and be able to advance in the area that you focus on. So they're able to come in here, get transformation, and ultimately see results and what they're looking for. So what type of content falls into educational and value-based content? You can have things like tips and strategies on that particular topic. Maybe you create a video, or you just have text, or you provide an image and text, and you encourage people with tips and strategies on how to execute and so much more. Or you provide resources, maybe they're PDFs or video trainings or blog posts, podcast posts, things along those lines that you can share with your audience to help them to be able to get results and be able to see that transformation. You can also do things like mini tutorials. Mini tutorials are a great way for you to be able to interact with your customers, whether it is a tutorial that is a video tutorial or a quick video series. This is a great way for you to interact and let them be able to learn from you. It's not too long. Some more educational and value-added posts are being able to share your clients' success. So if you have clients who might be in your coaching program, your courses, your memberships, or even in your community, you can share all about that. If it is related to your community and it can help people to see that they can win too, I definitely encourage you to share some success stories. Share some case studies, help your audience to see how they can achieve this or how they can get inspired to take some of those strategies and apply them to their own lives. Now let's talk all about promotional content. A lot of people sometimes use their community as a way to interact with their audience, but they skip out on promotional content. I think having a community is a really great way for you to build trust, really connect with your audience, be able to share a ton of value, but it's also a way for you to introduce your audience to other resources that you may have within your business. So when it comes to promotional content, I don't like to overdo it with promotional content, but if I do have an upcoming webinar that I believe my community can benefit from, I would love to invite them to it. If I have a brand new course or a brand new digital product that, again, is going to be beneficial for my audience, not just something I created that I want to share. If I think my audience can truly benefit from it, I want to share this with them. So you might be asking yourself, okay, this is great, Brittany, but how do I create all of this content? Where do I create it? Well, you can create this content in a few different places. The first place you can create this is videos. So if you are looking to create tutorials and maybe you're looking to have a welcome video and you want to provide video types of material to post, then I want you to think about what platforms do you like to use for recording. So if I'm going to host a video in Kajabi's community,
what I would do is I would host it in the meetup section. So this is going to be great if I am looking to do a live meetup. So I am currently right now in the meetup section. I can create when I am going to have this live event, this live tutorial, or this live Q&A, whatever it may be. It just might even be a meetup. So this will allow me to invite my audience, send a invite, and also give them an opportunity to add it to their calendar. And I can put it in the feed section so they're able to kind of see what's taking place within the community. So this is one way that you can actually host your actual videos if you want to do it live and don't necessarily want to use some of the other platforms and want to keep everything in one place in Kajabi. Now, another platform that you can use is Descript. This is where you can make your videos, edit them all. This can be pre-recorded videos. You can also go live with Descript. However, sometimes it does not connect with the communities that you're looking to go live with. So it has its own live feature where you can provide a link if you want to go that route and do interviews or have Q&As or meetups or tutorials. You can do all of that there, or even just a video. But the really cool thing is there are a lot of editing features when it comes to Descript. Now, another platform that works really well is Loom. This is really great if you are doing tutorials and you want to do share screen and you want to be able to quickly be able to edit your videos all in one place as well. So Loom is kind of similar to Descript. Descript has more editing features and more opportunities in terms of recording. However, Loom is really great if you are looking to just go ahead and do a tutorial. It doesn't necessarily go live. However, it does allow you to embed your videos and so much more. So Loom is another great one. Now, the last platform I want to just mention is Zoom. Zoom is where you can go live. You can also record videos. You can share screen, all of that great stuff. Kajabi has mimicked the Zoom feature. So please note that if you are using Kajabi, you decide to use that platform for your community, then if you like Zoom, then you can use the Kajabi version where you can not have to worry about paying for another subscription. You can just use that. Or if you prefer Zoom, this is a platform that you can just use the link and plug it into your community and share it with your audience and have them join you on the actual Zoom platform.
You can also use graphics. So there are so many graphic platforms out there, but as you know, Canva is a really great one. It is user-friendly and allows you to create graphics that you can plug and play into your community. Now, you have seen some of the graphics that I have where if you are interested in them, you can learn more about it below, but ultimately it can help you to be able to create posts for your community with ease. All you have to do is update the image and the text and change the colors to your brand, and you are good to go. I know how overwhelming and challenging it can feel when it comes to being able to create your prompts. When you are creating prompt text for your audience, whether it's educational material or it's engagement material or promotional, I want you to think about what you want to say, how you want it to relate to your audience, and how can they connect, how can they interact, what's the question you can ask to really get them engaged. And then feel free to use different AI platforms that can help you to really tweak this or change things to format to where it really connects well with your audience. So there are several ways and several different types of posts that you can create, whether it's educational or engagement type of content, or if you are looking to create promotional content, there are ways for you to create posts that really work well with your audience and really connect. And then you can also share it in the forms of videos, polls and surveys, actual graphics and text, and be able to provide resources and so much more, which makes it easy for your audience to be able to consume different types of posts and ultimately get the most out of your community. So you have an online community, or you're looking to create an online community, and you're trying to figure out how much is enough content. How can I post in my community to where I have active members and I have people participating and I'm showing up without burning out? Well, in today's video, I am going to be walking you through how you can identify how much to post within your online community so that you don't experience burnout, so that you can stay consistent and really show up in your audience, and ultimately be able to have an engaged audience. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Most creators usually create their community. They're super excited. They can't wait to be able to help their audience to be able to get quick wins, get results and transformations, provide value, to connect, and so much more. But then they start to feel overwhelmed. They start to ghost their audience because they don't know what to post, what to say, how to really keep them engaged. And ultimately, that community really starts to fizzle out. And I don't want that for you, because communities can be a really great way for you to be able to grow your audience, sell to your audience, and ultimately scale in your business. So let's go ahead and identify what's going to work best for you and your community. Please note that it is not a one size fits all. I want you to do what's going to work best for the people that you are serving and for yourself within your business, so that you can truly show up and provide as much value as possible. So the first thing that we want to do when you're trying to identify how much content to post within our community is to really get clear on our audience. We want to know, what do they expect? What's going to be the best fit for them? How much time do they really have to put into this community? We don't want to post something daily and expect them to show up daily and have them feeling overwhelmed and then they just leave the community. But instead, we want to think through, where are they currently at? Where's my current ideal audience at right now in their lives? Do they have 1 hour a week? Do they have 30 minutes every day? What does that look like for them, so that when they do show up, they can get the most out of this community? I know when I am teaching on funnels and sharing about how to create your website, that can feel overwhelming, and a lot of people need time to really process what I'm sharing and implement it into their business. So if I were to post every single day about updating your website, updating your funnels, and how to fix it, it would be overwhelming for my audience. So I want you to really think through, how can you better understand your audience so that you know what their life is looking like? If they have 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a week, whatever that looks like, we really need to be clear on who our audience is, so that then you are able to create the content that is going to best serve them. Now, one thing I want you to remember when you are creating content and better understanding your audience, it is better to post quality and post just content that's truly going to be of value versus just posting in quantity, meaning you're posting every day just to show up and say that you posted. I would rather post once a week where I am able to provide maybe a 10-minute video with tips and strategies and things that they can actually execute, or ways that they can be able to better themselves, versus me posting a ton of different posts and not getting anything out of it. So now that you better understand your audience and how much time they really have to give toward this community, I want you to think about your frequency. How often should you be posting in your community? Again, I can't give you that answer. You know who you're serving. You know who's going to show up day in and day out. You know how much time they have. Most likely there's someone who has experienced what you have experienced in the past. So you know what that feels like. And if you are noticing that, hey, it's best that I show up daily for my audience, or weekly, or I show up once a month, or I have different types of content. I might share a few minimal content in the beginning of the week, and then at the end of the week, I provide a lot longer, lengthier content. I want you to think about what that looks like. So let's say you're going to do daily content. I want you to really think of this as more of an optional, only if it's sustainable. I want you to think of things like quick wins, motivational tips that you can share, maybe mini prompts, or you can do short wins that other members have experienced, or you can even do a quick 1-minute video where you share something and help people to execute. You can do challenges and things along those lines to really help engage your audience if you're going to go the daily route. Now, daily can be overwhelming if you don't have a content strategy. You might start off really strong in the beginning where you're posting every day, you're feeling really active in your community, but then all of a sudden you start to notice that people are fizzling out. They're not communicating and not commenting as much. They're not participating. So as I have mentioned, I would rather have quality posts and quality type of content versus quantity. Okay, so now let's talk about weekly. If you decide to go weekly, which I would highly recommend, that you have weekly posts at least. If you can, I try to do 2 posts a week where I have one meaty post and one more interactive post, some sort of engagement post. You can do things like an educational tip or an how-to post. You can even do a video tutorial and you are walking people through how to execute and implement certain things. These are great ways for you to kind of mix up your content, but ultimately be able to connect with your audience at least once a week and be able to keep that engagement going. Now, let's talk about monthly engagement. Now, I highly recommend in your community that you at least show up once a week. That's a really great way to keep people engaged versus showing up once a month where people kind of lose interest and they totally forget about this community. And you don't want people to start quitting because they don't feel like they're getting anything out of it. But if you show up where you are providing maybe one large event per month, this is a really great way for your audience to get the most out of this community in addition to your weekly content. So monthly content that I would share would be things like Q&As or full-on tutorials and trainings and things that you're going to maybe host live or meetups and whatnot. This is where I would host longer events and have content that is longer and meatier, where your audience is able to interact and connect with other like-minded individuals. So I would host that once a month. Now, let's talk about creating a content calendar, because when you are creating a community, you want to not just post random things, you want to really be strategic about what you're posting. Again, if your audience is willing to pay you for your community and be able to show up and interact, you want to respect their time. So we don't want to just post a whole bunch of fluff and silly things that don't necessarily move the needle forward. We want to help them to really gain value and see transformation and so much more. So let's whip out this content calendar. Let's get really clear on what we're going to be posting over the next couple of weeks. I have a content calendar that I absolutely love. So you can learn more about that content calendar in the resources below. We have a community content kit and you can learn more about that. Now let's talk about leveraging templates. Now it would only be right for me to talk about templates, right? Because ultimately I sell templates and I think templates help to make your process so much easier versus starting from scratch. So you can leverage templates to help you to create your posts without feeling burnt out. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, I want to change my content up. I want to do different things all the time. And that's fine, you can. But let's have some basic content templates to work with, whether it's graphic templates, text templates, email templates, announcement templates, whatever it may be. We want to make it as easy as possible for us to be able to properly show up for our audience. As you can see, there are tons of templates that you can get started with, but the main goal is to identify what are you doing, what does your different type of content look like, so that you can create an actual template system around that and ultimately be able to create your content a lot faster. So there you have it. You get to decide how much content is enough content to post within your community. There's no right or wrong answer, but the main goal is to be able to provide quality, to be able to show up for your audience in a way where they're able to truly see transformation and get results, and ultimately be able to connect with them so that you aren't just posting to post. You are able to build a community that grows and thrives and interacts with your audience versus having a dead community that does not want to interact. They feel overwhelmed every time they step in the community, and ultimately they leave. So pick what works best for you, create that content calendar, really plan out your schedule, and think about templates to help make this process a heck of a lot easier. So you're trying to decide, should you have a paid community or a free community? Which one's really going to grow your business? So today we're going to break down the pros and cons of having a paid or a free community so that you can decide which option is going to work best for you and your business. Let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so there are a lot of pros and cons when it comes to having a free community and a paid community. And ultimately, there's no right or wrong answer. It's all about your goals and what you are looking to achieve in your business. So as I share about the free community, the pros and cons, and the pros and cons when it comes to a paid community, I still want you to think what's going to work best for me and where I'm currently at. So I know a lot of people kind of get stuck in this place. I want you to pick an option and just know that you can change it at any time. So let's go ahead and dive into the free community, and let's talk about the pros of having a free community. So this is a really great way for you to grow your audience fast. Maybe you are just getting started and you're looking to use a community as more of a lead magnet. You're not necessarily looking to use it as a recurring subscription or things along those lines. You can definitely grow your audience super fast by having a free community. You have seen those different communities like Facebook groups and all that great stuff where people are jumping in these groups and interacting and connecting. That is a great way for you to build your audience. And then when the time comes for you to present a paid community or another paid product in your business, you can present that to your audience. Now, when you have a free community, it is easier to invite people to your community. They're more willing to say, yes, I'll sign up without having to think about it or having to better understand, what is this? Is it right for me? We do want to make sure that we are attracting the right people, though. We don't want to just have a whole bunch of people for vanity reasons, but instead we want to have quality people who are in there for the right reasons so that then they can be able to properly participate and not just go doormat because they just joined to join. Now, having a free community is also really great for the early stages of building your business. I know when I first started out, I did not have anyone on my email list. I didn't have a social media following. So who was I going to be talking to? My family members and friends, right? And so when I started to invite people I felt were great to be in my community, at the time it was a Facebook group, I started to invite those individuals that I felt like, hey, I know you're looking to achieve XYZ and I help with XYZ. I would love to bring you into this community. It was a great way for me to just start to connect with my ideal customer. So it's really great for your beginning stages of your business when you are really just trying to figure out who you're serving and really get more information from those individuals. Okay, so there are a lot of great benefits when it comes to having a free community. Let's talk about the cons, though, that you may experience if you have a free community. So you might not have a strong commitment level from the individuals who have joined your free community. You might have people who joined, they have no skin in the game. So if they show up, they show up. Or if they, see something that they like, they'll interact. But other than that, they don't really participate in the community. They don't show up to live events. They don't really participate in meetups or challenges and things like that. And so they're in there. It's a great, growth for your community, but it's not necessarily them interacting and committing to what it is that they signed up for. With the free community, you might even find it hard to monetize from time to time because people are so used to the free version. And so they're like, why should I upgrade to a paid version or a paid product when I have this for free? And so you might find that a lot of people like to stay in that free section versus make their way to the paid product. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't want you to get your thoughts where you think everybody in your free community is going to join every paid product you have. That's not going to be the case. Instead, they are going to kind of question, should I join? Should I not join? And you're going to have a lot of people who say, you know what? I just want to stay in this free content over here. I don't want to necessarily make my way to the paid content. And that might be over time that they start to make their way to the paid content. But sometimes when it's free, they just want to stay in that free section and remain there. Okay, so now that you know the pros and cons when it comes to a free community, let's talk all about the pros of a paid community. So when you have a paid community, you get more commitment from individuals because they're like, you know what, I'm paying for this. Let me show up. Let me participate. That's not always the case, but for a lot of people, they feel like, hey, I paid for this. It's important for me to at least get benefits and be able to get value out of what it is I'm paying for. Now, another benefit of having a paid community is that you have some recurring revenue. Whether you are charging a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly type of recurring revenue, it's important for you to kind of get an idea of what's happening in your finances. And by having this paid community, you're able to get an understanding of what you might be able to generate in the upcoming weeks or months. So having a paid community allows you to plan and forecast for your business. Hey, I know I'm getting $1,000 just from my community every single month if I have XYZ people in there. And it just helps you to plan accordingly when it comes comes to your business. Now, another pro when it comes to a paid community is that people have a higher perceived value when it's paid. They believe that when they show up into this paid community, that they're going to get better value and better service and just better tips and strategies and resources than within the free version. And so I want you to think about, when you are creating your community, how can I really make sure that I am providing value, that my audience just really sees the difference between a free community versus a paid community, and so much more. Now, with the paid community, it's also easier for you to invite your audience to other paid content in your business. You can invite them to courses, coaching programs, live events that you may have. This is a really, really great way for you to provide more premium content to your audience, and they have already said yes to your membership, and they are more likely to buy from you and want to work with you in other ways as well. Okay, so let's talk about the cons of a paid membership. You might see slower growth, especially if you are new to building your audience and you don't necessarily have a large audience to kind of work with, and you are, just kind of getting your feet wet with building your email list and social media and connecting with your audience on the channels that they may show up on. So it might start off a little bit slow initially, but that doesn't mean it always will be slow. You can eventually grow further than that. You might be doing paid ads and things to help speed up the process, but sometimes it starts off a little slower than a free community. Now, another con of the paid community is really positioning yourself. It is going to require you to have a strong marketing plan so that you can get people over to your community. You want to be able to show up in the places of where your ideal customers are showing up, do collaborations and partnerships if you can to help get people to your community, do email marketing, and really create a brand and help educate your audience on what this product is. Now, with the paid community, it is important that you have a content schedule. Now, I would recommend this in both a free and a paid, but one of the cons for a paid is that you might feel like you need to over deliver and you need to provide a ton of content. Now, I'm not about providing so much content where it's overwhelming for you and your clients who are in there. But the main thing is, since this is a paid community, you need to stay consistent. And I highly recommend you stay consistent even in that free community, but you need to stay consistent. And if you're not able to do that, that might make it a little challenging for people to want to stay within your actual paid community. So how do you choose which model is going to be the best fit for your community? If you are looking to grow your community really fast, you're just looking to really grow your audience and you really need to build that audience first, I recommend starting with a free community. If you have an established community, you have an email list, it doesn't have to be some big crazy number, but you have a brand, then you can definitely get started with the paid version of a community. And if you're looking for consistent revenue, recurring revenue, all that great stuff, a paid community will help you to achieve that. Now, you can use different pricing systems to see what works best for you. Some people like to start off with low tier community prices that might be $7 to $9. Some people like to do more $19 to $39 price ranges. And some people like to have more premium communities where it might be $99 an app. So I want you to pick the price that's going to work best for you, and feel free to change things as you learn more about your audience and see what works best for them. Okay, so there you have it. I want you to decide if you're going to go with a free community or a paid community so that you can better serve your audience. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how you can be able to get your first 10 customers and beyond into your online community. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. What holds a lot of coaches and creators back from starting their online community is the overwhelm of trying to figure out how to get people to the community. You don't want to put all this energy and effort into building out your community, getting set up on a platform, and then you have crickets. Well, what I want to talk to you about today is how you can get your first 10 customers. I know that might not seem like a lot for a lot of people, but when you're just getting started, to see 10 people come through, that's exciting. But then ultimately, how to plan to get more customers and beyond. And what you can do is you can implement the strategy over and over and over to help you to get to where it is you were looking to go. Okay, so let's get to the first step that's going to help you to build your audience.
So what you'll do when you are ready to start inviting your members to your community, you can start by doing personal invites. But a lot of times we don't want to necessarily send a personal invite to someone we know. Maybe we don't believe they're a good fit. So what I recommend is doing something called a beta launch community. So this is our complete community starter kit. You can learn more about it in the description below, but let's go ahead and click on the beta launch community emails. So this is a really great way for you to go ahead and get people into your community if they are on your email list, to invite them and just get them excited about what you have in your actual community. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to float the idea. We want to really help our audience to see if creating this community is even the right fit. Now, I highly recommend that you really float the idea to ensure that what you're creating is what your audience wants. Now, if you don't necessarily have an email list, you can do this on social media. So you can float the idea, let people know you are interested in creating a community on a specific topic and seeing if they might be interested. Now, after that is you'll send a survey of some sort. It doesn't have to necessarily be a survey. It can be a poll if you prefer, but sending out some sort of poll or a survey helps you to be able to better gauge on what you should include in this community. So this will help you to really get input from the people you are looking to serve and so much more. And then email number 3 is going to be your first access to knowing about this particular community. So your audience is going to have first dibs and they're going to be able to learn all about it and all of that great stuff, and they can get access. Now, email number 4 is going to be what to expect. So you're going to help set expectations and also really keep that energy high for your audience so that then they are able to, say, yes, I want to join, and yes, I want to be a part of what it is you're creating. Now, email number 5 is going to ask for feedback because we want people to come into our community and also provide us with real feedback and really interact. We don't want to just create something hoping that it's just a great fit and not really getting any feedback from our audience. So this will help us to be able to do just that. And then email number 6 is going to be behind the scenes sneak peek. So we want to tease what's coming. We want to really build some anticipation. We started off with kind of like the beta version, and now we're going to really ramp up for our upcoming launch, which is going to have our finalized items within the actual community. Then we have doors open. So doors open, this is after the beta launch has taken place. People have participated in the actual community and they've had an opportunity to see what's within it. Now the doors are going to open to anyone who did not join. And this gives them the opportunity to be able to come and join the community where you have really shaped this to what it is that your ideal clients were looking for. And then email number 8 is going to be a last call. We really want to create some urgency to get our new target audience into this community. And we also want to help them to make a decision. And email number 9 is going to thank them and next steps. So you might be closing the doors to your community for a period of time, or you might be keeping them open, but you want to communicate what the next steps are so that people are aware of how they can be a part of this in the future if they did not necessarily move forward. And also thank everybody for jumping in their inbox or showing up on social media and being able to connect with them. Now, what I like to do is I like to have a 30-day community beta launch calendar where you have week 1, where you're going to really focus on floating the idea of your community and then having an email that goes out a couple of days later. And then week 2 is really going to be your beta invite prep. This is where you are going to officially invite your target audience into your beta launch. This doesn't have to be some pretty beautiful built out membership or community. It could be like very minimal. Your goal is just to get people in and get their feedback on what they think. Day 10, I go a little deeper on what to expect and really set clear expectations. And then you're going to go into email number 5 where you're asking for feedback, but that is further down within the month and it allows you to be able to get some beta testers in your community trying it out, and then you get that feedback from them. And then the behind the scenes, you can be working on your community even while you have people within it. As you're getting feedback and hearing from people, you're making these improvements and updates. And then you're going to now do a final push for your actual community that you have improved, you've tested, you've had a few people come in give their feedback, and so much more. Now, I have all the emails below that can help you to build this out. Again, you can learn more about this within the complete community starter kit. The details are below. Another way to help you to get people to your community is to have launch graphics. So I'm just going to jump into our launch graphics. Again, this comes with the complete community starter kit. So this is going to help you to be able to promote your community. You can share different just information about it. You can share about the topic. You can ask questions, do polls, and ultimately launch and invite people to join. If you are doing a beta launch, you're not going straight into launch, I do have some beta launch graphics, and the beta launch graphics will help you to be able to say that it's beta, that you can join at this particular price for a limited time, and then once the doors open, this community is going to go up to this particular price. So, okay, let me show you some of the beta launch graphics. So again, if you are going to do a beta launch when it comes to your community, here are some graphics that can help make this process a lot easier. You can, share what the price will be and what they can join for the special community price. You can also do some countdowns and all that great stuff and create some urgency here. So these can help you on social media if you're planning on sharing about your actual community beta launch there. Now let's talk about having a sales page for your community. So you don't have to have a full-on sales page. I'm going to show you a few different options, but this is just a template from our template society. This is our Amelia collection, but you can have a sales page which shares more about your community. Now, this sales page could be used for absolutely anything, but the main goal is to share why having access to this community will make a difference and how it can actually create transformation. So this, again, has more details than what you probably would include on your actual community, but if you were to move forward with a template like this, you can always remove some of the sections that you don't need and keep the things that will work best for what it is that you are offering. So your main goal is to provide them with pricing, create urgency, inform them of what this actually is and how it will create transformation, results that people have received, and also sharing a little bit about bonuses if you have any, who this community is for and who it's not for, so that you don't have people just coming in and they're frustrated because they're like, wait, no, this is not exactly what I thought it would be. If you're going to have a guarantee, include this on your sales page. However, maybe you don't have any guarantees. Maybe there's no refunds. Just be upfront about what it is that you offer and let people know what the deal is. And then obviously answer some Q&A questions. If someone has questions about the program and you're finding that they're asking them via email or behind the scenes, go ahead and add that to your sales page so you can be able to go ahead and address that in case someone else has that same question. And the main thing is to, again, help people to understand why they should join, why they should click that, yes, I'm ready now to be able to work with you, so that they can now go into the community. So really create that urgency. Now, with a community, again, you don't have to have a really long page. What I'm actually showing you is a tripwire page. I call it an upsell kind of tripwire page from our Amelia collection. However, I think that you can do something short and sweet like this when you're first starting off with your community. It doesn't need to be long and drawn out with your sales page. So again, this is, not necessarily a community sales page, but just an example of what you can do so that you don't have to necessarily come up with so much content. You can just get started with just a little content and ultimately share that with your audience to get them into your beta community and eventually have them come into your full price community if you're doing a paid version, or if you're doing a free version, you might just skip necessarily doing a full-on paid launch.
Okay, so there you have it. This game plan is going to help you to get your customers into your community. Whether you're looking to get 10 people, 100, or 1,000, you can create this strategy and customize it to your business and ultimately go for what it is that you are aiming for within your goals for your community. Okay, so you have created your community, you're all set up, you have your customers in. It's now important for us to keep your community alive. I can't tell you how many people start an online community and just kind of ghost their audience. They don't know what to post anymore. They don't know how to keep it interactive. And so they end up just closing down their community because they don't know what to do. And trust me, I have been guilty of this time and time again, where I had these lofty goals to be able to build a strong community, and ultimately I got burnt out along the way and did not necessarily know how to really keep it alive like I wanted to. So I'm going to be sharing with you some things that I have learned over the years and that can help you to be able to keep your community alive and really thriving so that you can be able to serve your audience. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so in order for you to really keep your community alive, especially as you have put so much time, effort, and energy into building your community, is to first set the right expectations with your audience. Now, when you set the right expectations with your audience, how often you're going to post, when you're showing up, what you're going to be doing, and how you're going to be able to provide value for them, it helps them to know what to expect. So then they're not expecting you to post daily. They're not expecting new trainings every week, different Q&As, and all kinds of stuff. We want to be upfront with our audience on what they are going to get within this particular community so that then there is no confusion. If you're going to be answering questions once a month, then they know that they're going to get their questions answered once a month. If you are going to be providing resources on a specific thing once a month, they know what they're going to get. So it's important for you to set those expectations with your audience so that then when they come in, they're not expecting anything crazy or feeling like they got gypped because they didn't receive XYZ. Maybe they have other expectations in their mind if you don't set that for them properly. Now, to keep your audience alive and really keep this community going, it's important that you batch and schedule your content. I can't tell you how many people have these great ideas to post in their audience. They want to go live weekly. They want to be able to do Q&As. They want to provide resources. But then life happens and they're overwhelmed and they have other things going on that they need to spend their time and attention focusing on. And so then a day or two goes by, they forgot to post, and then it goes into a week and then a month, and then you haven't showed up in your group for several months. So I want you to think about how can you plan ahead. Again, you can use things like templates that help make this process a heck of a lot easier, a content calendar, and really think through how you can think what you're going to post, plan for a month, or plan for a week, plan for a month, plan for the quarter, whatever works best for you, but then schedule this out in advance so that you can continue to keep up with the content that you have promised your audience that you are going to be providing and what they expect. Now, another way for you to really keep your audience alive is to use engagement boosters that really encourage your audience to take action. You can encourage them to invite a friend to join this community. You can encourage them to share their wins and encourage them to maybe provide their input on certain things. This helps your audience to be interactive and engaged, but also it takes a little bit of breathing room off of you to feel like you always have to provide all of this wisdom and content. Instead, let's ask your customers some questions. Let's let them share with the community some of the other things that they're doing so that other people can get inspired as well. Now, the fourth way to keep your community alive is to lean on templates. This is the Template Society, so I always mention templates. Whether it's templates for emails or templates for captions or templates for my graphics, it really helps to make this process a heck of a lot easier versus starting from scratch every time. Because you will find that when you don't have as much time as you would like to allocate to things, you start to ghost your audience. So let's think about ways that it could be easy for you to create the content, but still provide a ton of value for your audience. So really lean on templates when you can, as this can help to make this process a heck of a lot easier, especially when you're creating loads of content for your audience. Now, another great way for you to keep your community alive is to create micro moments and not big productions. If every post that you create has to be some large production, it has to be a 2-hour course or a 30-minute Q&A every other day, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to be able to stick to it. Now, there are some people who truly stick to the schedule. They make it happen, but a lot of people get burnt out along the way, and life changes over time where maybe things are going to look different for you in a couple of months and you don't have the time that you had at one point in time. So I just want you to think through, how can you provide this micro moments where you share maybe shorter tips and videos and things like that versus these big productions in order to make content happen for your community. Okay, So there you have it. You know what to do to get your community up and going. You have all of the steps and tools to make it happen. Throughout this video series, I have walked through how you can be able to launch, where to host your actual community, and so much more. So all you have to do is take action and make it happen. If you're looking to build your community and you're not sure what platform to build this on, I highly recommend that you check out Kajabi. I have a 30-day trial for you that will allow you to jump on, see if this is a good platform, and see if it's a good fit. And also I have some exclusive bonuses that will help making launching so much faster. You can check that link out below.